Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Now, hi guys. Yeah, Andy and Beth, Amanda. Now, we've done this on the part five of Supernatural. Now, this isn't a more of a PS, really, because there's a couple of quick things I want to cover ground here. And I thought we only had about 10 minutes spare there, and I thought we might go over a bit here. Now, obviously, after Supernatural finished, Jensen Ackles went very quiet for a bit, Amanda, didn't he?
Yeah. He's
Now,
picking up for it now.
oh yeah, now I'm gonna let Amanda tell Beth. I don't know what you've seen in the actors since, Beth. What have you watched either to the two main actors in anything?
No, I do want to watch The Boys. It's on my list because
Oh,
obviously it was
it's
on.
eye-opening,
Yeah.
right? Now, in The Boys, obviously Jensen obviously comes in season three. Now, and they've not had the guts to do this in the comic TV series, which is probably for the best. Because when Jensen Ackles' character Soldier Boy comes into the comics, the first scene of him is getting fucked up the bum by by a certain, should we say, psychotic hero, right?
Yeah, they didn't
Now,
reenact that in the Boys TV series, though, strangely enough.
no, I don't know why. I don't know why on that one. So I know that's what happened there. But yeah, and obviously, what else has Jensen Ackles been up to, Amanda? Just so Beth knows.
He was in, I've forgotten the name of that TV show we watch now, where he was a cop.
I think it was Blue Sky or something. It might have been Blue Sky.
Yes, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there was a cop. There was a Canadian cop show, Beth, and it let him be. What's your commander? Sort of cowboy cop or something.
Yeah.
And he came into it, and they brought him into it, and they were doing a direct reference to Baby they were in his car. And they were showing actually in it how useless he was with cars and his
And
characters.
there were loads of little jokes, weren't there, about pie and food
Yeah.
and that woman always like giving him food and stuff.
So he did about full season, like a good 13, 14 episodes it was. And then obviously we had the Winchesters as well. Where let's Amanda, I'm gonna let you talk about the Winchesters.
Yeah, we decided not to talk about the Winchesters. Let's forget that ever
Yeah.
happened.
Like I said, and Beth's not seen that. You're not missing much. It was the prequel series, all kind of prequel, which Jensen Ackles was in the first episode unannounced. He narrated it when suddenly cropped up in the last two episodes, Amanda, was it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, with several people. It was good. So, and then we had the boys at the top of it. Now, obviously, straight after Supernatural finished, pretty well, 2 months later, Amanda, wasn't it? What happened?
We're going on to walk now?
Correct, yes, with
Yeah.
Gerard, yeah. Yeah.
I like the fact that he got the part because there's an episode of Supernatural where Dean's like, this is Walker, he's a Texas Ranger. And then he goes on to be Walker, Texas Ranger.
Now, I presume you're not going to watch that, Beth, are you? So,
I might do, to be fair. I might.
uh,
I do really like them as actors, so I might give anything with them in, I'll probably give it a go at some point.
well, Amanda, do you want to recommend Gotham Knights to Beth then, when Misha plays Two-Face in
Oh,
it?
he was the only good thing in there.
Yeah, well, that deservedly got cancelled after one season after with Batman's
I know Misha was
Doctor
gutted.
Son.
He was on Twitter and he was absolutely gutted about it.
So, I think Walker went on for 5 seasons, if my memory is correct, Amanda, didn't it? And they've just kind of finished it off now.
Yeah. Did we give
Now,
up after the second season, I think?
I think so. I think it was
Yeah.
actually Amanda had enough by then. I was only watching it for her anyway, to be honest with you, Beth. But a bit of useless gossip of you. They've done one season of a spin-off from Walker as a prequel. What supernatural connections in that? Mark Sheppard's in one of the main roles in it.
I might
Oh,
actually watch that though.
That's why. So, but anyway, I know he was in it. I've not watched it, so I can't comment. So, said that there's that. So people wonder that they've been up to all the three main actors all been into major things since. Alexander Calduff has been in The Boys as well. Actually, would you believe, Beth?
Yeah, he had some interesting parts in that, didn't he?
He was in Gen.
isn't Jared in The Boys as well now? It's
He's
become a bit of a
going to be.
supernatural reunion, or he's going to be, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got on board for what Jim Beaver's in it and being in a minor role. He is. Yeah, he's been in all seasons, whether it be in the fifth season. He didn't have major bits. He was in it because he was around a bit as vice president. I think he became president or something, so he's always around a little bit. But Alexander Calvert was in Gen V. And Amanda, you better give spoilers away, 'cause it was a good couple of years
No,
ago.
but they
What
did a
happened in
mind
him
control thing on him so that he kept hitting himself in a certain place.
with a certain instrument, right? I said it was like, oh, it's painful to watch that series. It was. I said to you, if you watch your Gen V the spin-off, there was a graphic scene in the first episode, and oh my God, it was graphic. It was, you'll need a sick bucket, okay? If you're watching the boys. That's the best suggestion I give you there, Beth. So now I think as far as I'm aware, has been any major roles for anybody since Amanda, since Supernatural.
No, there's none I can think of.
So like I said, Beth, you've got plenty to go through, anyway, because Jensen's
Yeah.
got a really good varied career here. So, and he's done an animated Batman as well.
Yes, I did hear about that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that, Amanda, didn't we?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, and there's a rumor going around. There's a Batman film coming up soon. Not the ones that the trilogy ones. Some sort of team up one. And Jensen's rumored to be Batman in that year, apparently.
Mm.
He's also he's got a boys spin-off, at least one boys spin-off coming up as well. So, and what we're going to talk about next is the rumored Supernatural season 16. Now, I've asked Amanda and Beth on about an hour ago. So, what would they like to see in season 16? And this is off the cuff. I'm no help here, so I'm going to start with Amanda.
I think you could pretend that the last episode never happened and just continue it from there and just go back to like sort of what it was more like in like the first couple of seasons. We're just fighting monsters and things like that.
Or could they even just come down from heaven, Amanda, or something? I don't know, right? So, or fighting monsters in heaven, even.
Yeah, there
So,
shouldn't be any monsters in heaven, though, should
well, it's about in the world of Supernatural. That's all I'm going to say, right? So, Beth, what would you like to see happen in season 16?
Oh, it's a really difficult one for me because I actually kind of don't want there to be a series 16. Like if there is, then I'll have to watch it. I won't be able to resist watching it, but I kind of almost hope that it doesn't come to fruition because I just think they made a bit of a mess of it with the final few series of Supernatural anyway, and I just don't want them to keep digging themselves a hole. I think sometimes you've just got to know where things end. But if they do bring it back, I think I'd quite like to see a continuation of the God storyline, to be honest, because I mean, what people forget is that they never actually killed him. They never actually killed Chuck. They took his powers. Well, Jack took his powers, kind of absorbed his powers, but then they never actually killed him. So God or Chuck, is a human that used to be God, is kind of wandering the earth. So I reckon they could do something with that, with him kind of getting his powers back somehow or something and kind of messing things up again because they made the decision not to kill him because they wanted to be the bigger person. But then I reckon that could maybe come back to bite them. But also the one thing which I think they've got to do if they do a series 16 and which is part of the reason I kind of don't want them to because I'm scared that they would try and get away with not doing it. They cannot do a series 16 and not get Dean and Cass together. They just can't. Like they've shot themselves in the foot now. Cass has confessed his love. We never got a response from Dean, but we know that Cass is alive and well in heaven and Dean is now there with him. We can't, at this point, after 15 series, we cannot have Dean turning round and just going, oh, sorry, mate, I don't feel the same way. Like, you can't, like, they've shot themselves in the foot now. Dean's answer has clearly got to be that, yes, I love you too. They can't get away with it now. And I think they've been accused of, quite rightly, they've been accused of queer baiting for so many years. And I really do think that, they've done those characters dirty in a lot of ways by not kind of acknowledging this relationship between them properly. So I don't think if they have a series 16, then I think the only way they could not bring Cass back is like they could I mean, sorry, I mean, the only way that they could get away with not having Dean and Cass together is if they somehow decide not to bring Cass back, not to have Misha Collins in it. But I don't think that would be the same show if they didn't have Misha Collins in it. So, if I just think they've got to get over themselves and they've got to, fully explore these characters as a couple, out and proud, out in the open. No more of this will they, won't they, are they, is it just subtext, are we just imagining it? Oh, but that could be interpreted as friendship. No, we've got to go for it now. There is no way that Cass's confession was platonic. It is romantic love. Just go for it. It doesn't have to be anything graphic, but just get the characters together, show us them in a relationship, show us the trials and tribulations, just go for it. Like, what are you afraid of?
I think it's a very good point, that's to Beth. I do is there's one thing I want to touch on in a minute, obviously, but see you both think about this for the season 16 story now. But you're right, and that's what might put them off, to a degree, because obviously I've seen enough footage when Jensen and Misha on stage basing each other and have a laugh, basically. It was almost like they think to themselves, let's leave it the way it is. But obviously, if they're going to do this another series, would they want to do it like the room with Buffy spin-off, which I'll touch on in a moment anyway. But obviously there's one storyline they never wrapped up on, Amanda, did they?
I don't know what's that.
The Antichrist.
Oh yeah, we mentioned that last time.
Yeah, so I said come back to that one. That's the
Yeah.
storyline they never finished up on. It's a bit of a contentious topic as well, that one. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking myself. It's not the one that they probably need to look at as well. But yeah, I agree with both. I would like, if they did it, I'd like to go and deal with the storyline, but whether they will, we will see. So now, obviously, now, like I said to you, we've dropped a hint. There's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot on the way. Now, we've been talking about it off camera already, me, Amanda, and Beth have. Beth is about to start it, I believe, aren't you?
Indeed.
Yeah, and Amanda's, well, how many times have you watched the original Buffy run, Amanda?
Quite a few times, not as much as Supernatural.
Now, what we have watched, Beth, and if you can track it down, is, well, I'll let Amanda tell you this to wrap up with today, is I found for her, and don't ask how, people, because I know, I'll come with that off record. I got hold of the original pilot for Buffy. And is that, Amanda, to wrap up with tonight, is that worth
It was
Beth tracking down?
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. I think what they did, they obviously commissioned it, but they made them make a lot of changes because it wasn't that great as it was.
What I'm interested in learning is for wrap up today is do you think could you both imagine they did something similar with Supernatural? Did a really real bad one to start off with, then went back and rebooted it.
I don't think it can be as bad as that.
So yeah.
I feel like Supernatural is surely one of those shows that can't really be rebooted. I mean, there's a lot of shows that can. I mean, like Doctor Who can, that can probably kind of be put on hiatus and then brought back again quite a few times because it's like obviously you can do it with fresh actors anyway, or you can, but I feel like it would be a bit pointless to remake Supernatural with new actors from the beginning. I don't know why you'd bother. It's such a special show as it is, and I don't think you're ever going to quite accomplish the same chemistry between the actors. They had such brilliant casting with Jared and Jensen and Misha, and it all just fell into place, really. I don't think you're going to repeat that.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point, and I remember talking to you, Amanda, about this, where we were wondering basically whether they would do it on the two sons or the cousins
Yeah.
in the spin-off series, but whether you'd want to see that because they obviously tried it, didn't they, with the Winchesters, and it flopped basically. The chemistry wasn't there. So yeah, agreed, guys. So, well, folks, that's it on our epic Supernatural epic 5-parter. Now, I want to thank Beth today first of all, for coming on board. I bet she was thinking we started this originally, it'd be about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Not nearly 5 hours. So
Never.
it's true. And thank you, Amanda, as well, for obviously coming along and sharing your insights as to quote you, old fan, and Beth Winwood.
Yeah.
Beth is the new fan, right? So, see, it's been a pleasure to know you both of you. It's been great fun, like it said is. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting Beth back on the board. She's going to be a regular member of not TV Guide now anyway. But I'm looking forward to getting Beth back on board to another one of these, maybe later in the year for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, before we wrap up, Beth, do you reckon you'll watch Angel as well, or you're not sure on Angel yet?
I mean, probably if I become as obsessed with Buffy as I predict I'm going to, then I'll definitely watch the spin-off because I can tell it's going to be one of those shows that I really love. But I'll have to see.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, there was on Spotify, and I forgot the name, Amanda, what came out last year they did one season of that you might want to recommend Beth to catch up on?
I don't know.
Buffy spin-off.
Buffy spin-off.
You know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off, was it Slayers?
Oh, right, yeah. It's an audible, yeah.
Yeah, Audible. So you might want to keep your eyes
That's why
on for
you
that.
threw me, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few of the original members of Buffy, not Sarah Michelle Gellar, are in that, okay? And that was where they played different different versions of themselves, Amanda, some
Yeah, it was
cases.
like alternative universes and stuff, yeah.
So that's something to bear in mind for you. Perhaps you season 8 or something, right? If you need to fill the gap, Beth. So,
Mm.
right. Anyway, folks, yeah, that's it for today. Not the TV Guide is going to be back pretty soon. We've been talking about what we're going to be reviewing, and we need to speak to Grant about this. So, should back up at the end of the month, I reckon. So, and yeah, now with Beth hopefully being a more full-time member, well, people wondering the last few episodes, it's been two-parters. I'm prepared to put money on with Beth on board. It's going to be a 3 or 4 part per time. Well, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Amanda. We will see you all soon.
Not the TV Guide.
Not the TV guide.